Okay, we are back with another edition of Monday Previews. Crusty will be taking you through all 4 games. 3 out of the 4 games will be at home. Only the Buffalo game will be on the road. Okay, let's get started. Let's jump into it. First game will be against Calgary Flames, a team that the Blackhawks played about a week and a half ago, a 4-0 victory. Against Calgary. Calgary is not a very good team right now. Their beginning of the year struggles have continued. They are 5-12-3 and 3-5-2 in their last 10 games. This game might get a little chippy. It got a little nasty in Calgary with Joel Farabee putting a kind of a cross check on NASCAR, which basically put him out of the game and then made him missed about 3 games after that. Also during that game, Connor Murphy put out Parikh, who was their young puck-moving defenseman, and he has not played since also. So just with that being said, I figure it gets a little nasty. We had fights by the Pickle and by Colton Dock. In the last game, I would assume all of that physicalness to continue. Rasmussen Anderson is probably Calgary's best defenseman. He is also playing for probably a place to be traded to at the trade deadline. Besides that, a couple young talents you might want to keep an eye on is Morgan Frost, who's had an okay beginning of the year. He was traded from Philadelphia at the end of last year. And a Baum kid, BHL, defenseman. He's another big boy defenseman, kind of reminiscent of our defensemen. You know how they're all pretty tall. He's playing about 20 minutes a game. So he's the guy to kind of keep your eye on. A young talent who's starting his craft as a shutdown defenseman. Basically, you have Huberdeau, you have Nazem Kadri, you have Zary Connor. Calgary has pieces. It just seems that they're just finding ways to lose. So hopefully that continues. Really don't have much else on Calgary. We went through them about a week and a half ago, so we will go on to the next game. The next game will be a Thursday game, which will be against the Seattle Kraken, who the Blackhawks played also about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago out in Seattle. So, we're getting 2 of the teams from our West Coast swing. That was a 3-1 loss to the Kraken. The Kraken's record right now is 9-4 with 5 ties. In the last 10 games, they are 3-5-2. They've won their last 2. Kraken is a very well-balanced team. They have good forward talent. They, for the most part, will always play the right way. We'll go out from net out. I would assume there are no back-to-backs coming up for the Kraken, so you will get Joey Decord in net. Joey's having a pretty good year. Defensively for the Kraken, they've got some good stay-at-home defensemen, and then they've got their 2 puck-moving defensemen, Vince Dunn and Brandon Montour. Both of them can easily jump up in the play, so the Blackhawk defensemen will need to be aware of that. They will try to counter a little bit more. I am sure the word is getting out a little bit on the Blackhawks and how aggressive they play from the defensive end at times. So look for their defensemen also to be jumping up in the play. As far as the forward group, you've got Beniers, who is a superstar in the making, Jordan Eberle, who's more than efficient. The one guy you want to keep an eye on is Mason Marchman, who is their physical presence. He doesn't have a problem with doing any cheap shots either. Jaden Schwartz is having a very fine year. Definitely an older player, another guy who knows how to play the right way. So I expect with the tape out on the Blackhawks for the Kraken to be a little bit more aggressive. I think they will attempt to fly the zone a little bit more than they did in Seattle, trying to take advantage of our aggressive D. Again, Kraken does not have any back-to-backs, so they are starting their Midwest, East Coast road trip. I believe this will be their third road game. Should be a good one. You don't get a lot of opportunities against the Kraken. Again, the 3-1 loss, Soderblom was in net. I would assume Bloom probably gets the next team that we are going to talk about. I would assume Spencer Knight is in net for Calgary and the Kraken. And then we go from a Thursday to a Friday night game. This will be the Blackhawks, believe it or not, first back-to-back. So I would assume Spencer Knight at home gets the Kraken. And again, Soderblom will get the Buffalo Sabres. If you have listened to this show any little bit, we've discussed the Sabres at times. They are the poster child for futility in the NHL. They've had a lot of number one picks. They've got good players, and they just never can win. Goaltending always a real big problem for them. And their number one goaltender, which I'll mess up the name, is Ukko-Luukkonen, who is just coming back from injury. Ellis has been their goaltender in the last 2 games. So this is a team in disarray. They also have Zucker's been out with an illness. Benson is out also. Zach Benson is one of their young forwards who is a pretty good player. And the constant and unfortunate Jack Norris is also out with that shoulder that, we found out before that that was done by Jamie Benn also. Jamie Benn's got a long list of people he's put out and really hampered their careers. Dahlin, who is one of their 2, what you'd call them, superstar defensemen, except neither of them can really play like superstars. Just came back from personal issues, so he is back in there. Owen Powers is their other really good defenseman. They did their last game. They finally won. They had their first road victory against the Dead Wings. Again, this is a team that's 6-8-4, 2-4-4 in their last 5 games. It's hard to talk about them. If you're ever looking for an NHL team that knows how to lose, it is the Buffalo Sabres. They still have Tage Thompson, who now with their terrible start you'll be hearing trade rumors about him and Alex Tuck forever. Josh Doan, who was picked up in the trade that sent JJ Pareka to Utah, has had a fine start to the season in Buffalo. Just like his father, Doan is, a good two-way player. Doesn't have incredible skills, but can play the game of hockey and will do all the dirty things. Other guy you might want to watch a little bit is Peyton Krebs, who's basically now he's got to be in close to his 8th year. And somebody who was always that guy who you expected to make the jump from being, just starting out in the league to making that step to being a good NHL player. And it's just never happened. Another one of those, top 15 picks that just doesn't pan out for some reason. So, again, this is what they call in the business a trap game. A not very good team on your second day of a back-to-back. I don't think the Blackhawks will have a letdown. This is probably the first time in 3 years that we've had the Blackhawks favored to win 2 out of their 4 games in a week. And hopefully this is something we start getting used to, huh? That's something I would like. Okay, and then they'll head back late Friday night, have a day of rest Saturday because Sunday at the United Center, the big bad Avalanche will be in town. And they are big, they are bad, they are extremely fast, they are extremely talented. The Avs record is 12-1-5. That's right. Only one regulation loss so far this season. They are 7-1-2 in their last 10, and they've won their last 5 games in a row. This is a team that is clicking on all cylinders. They are just unbelievably scary. We've been over this probably at the beginning of the year when we've given you their breakdown. They've got Nathan McKinnon. Nashis, who they've just signed to an 8-year deal, is on a tear right now. You've got Luukkonen, again from the back end. Samuel Girard has just come back. They had Sam Bolowski, I believe it was, or Molowski, who was covering for him, who played really well. So I'll be interested to see if he goes down or not, with Girard coming back. And, of course, you have Cale Makar. Hopefully, if the week goes according to plan, and you hope the Blackhawks are 2-1 for the week when this game happens, this is your complete measuring stick. This is a top-notch team that, again, will not be scared by the Blackhawks' speed. And this team, I guarantee, will be trying to catch the Blackhawk defensemen, being too aggressive and going the wrong way. In goal, it's the Woods. You have Wedgwood and Blackwood. It's basically been Wedgwood's net because Blackwood was hurt at the beginning of the year. Wedgwood played really well. And then the first couple games back, Blackwell did not play all that well. So who we have, it's way too early to predict who is going to be in net probably. If you're looking to get to the United Center for a game for the next week, I definitely suggest the Colorado game. It's a 6 o'clock start on a Sunday against a unbelievable hockey team. I don't think the Blackhawks will be intimidated. The Blackhawks have shown that they're young enough not to care. So those are your 4 games. Enjoy your week and go Hawks.